Up there, it is said that right up there is haunted by Judge Jeffries, where he'd look down on those in the pit.
Hello?
Did that really just happen?
Hello?
This is the Lidford Castle, one of the most notorious castles in all of England. In its day, the structure functioned as a jail, which held prisoners both innocent and guilty, and executed almost all of them before they could be brought to trial. It is a place so notorious that in the Middle Ages, locals and noblemen alike nicknamed the type of injustice that they carried out there Lidford Law, in honor of the castle and the horrific deeds and torture that took place within its walls. It is a structure that British Parliament once described as one of the most heinous, contagious, and detestable places in the realm. We traveled to the abandoned Lidford Castle one night in search of paranormal activity, and that night, we found it. Welcome to the Paranormal Files.
This town is so old looking.
Castle Inn, does it say what it's famous for? No.
Great food and open fires. I don't know, it's not.
Where is the mass grave of the people around here?
On the other side of that.
Of the castle? And where's the graveyard? Right there?
That's the graveyard and all.
Graveyard right there. Castle right up here. Wow, that looks so creepy.
We have a little board here, like a paragraph explaining it, but Lidford Castle is a remarkably well-preserved medieval prison and courthouse built in 1195 and later enlarged in 1238 by Richard, Earl of Cornwall.
She saw its shadow. What? Yeah, the main phone. There it is.
We've had some funny ass activity in this castle before. This place is active. It's quite active.
Who knows? I bet we need people died from falling down the stairs.
So in there is where the original pit was, where everybody got dropped. Basically, you got dropped from up there, and they fall, free fall, right here. And this is after Judge Jeffries would make him drink like a quart of boiling oil as punishment. And if you could imagine drinking boiling oil.
No.
And not like slow sipping it like a cup of tea. I'm talking about chugging it as a punishment. But most of the activity we've gotten here was actually out there. And we've had EVPs, some of the creepiest EVPs. We've had REM pod activity on the stairs. They like to sneak around. We've had footsteps walking across the railing up there when there was nobody here. Things like that. But the sheer amount of death and pain in this building is quite phenomenal over time.
Agreed.
Okay, so we've driven a while from Devon, where we're staying here in England. It is now, what is the fourth day of the trip?
Today is, the fourth day.
So it's our fourth day in England. We just interviewed a very important person earlier today who's going to be in the series. And in addition, we just tried to go to one of the most haunted abandoned houses in the entire country that Andrew and Olivia were really excited to show us. Got all the way there, and the place was completely locked up and inaccessible. So that was really heartbreaking to me. But regardless, we are here at one of the supposedly most haunted castles in all of England. This is a place known as Lidford Castle. It has an extensive history that I'll just dive into right now. Lidford Castle was one of the most notorious prisons in all of England in its day. The castle, constructed in 1195 in the wake of a wave of law and order problems across the country, quickly gained a negative reputation as reports of horrific treatment in the prison's dungeons began to circulate around the country.
As the castle was the center of the forest administration in the area, which oversaw mining processes and forest and game regulation, it was used as a judicial center where prisoners were imprisoned, tried, and eventually hanged for their supposed crimes. Over time, the phrase Lidford Law began to grow in popularity as Lidford Castle became associated with injustice. It was commonly known that if you were unfortunate enough to be thrown into the Lidford jail, you would most likely be hung before your trial. However, this was deemed preferable by inmates as conditions in the jail's dungeon were absolutely deplorable. The cells were filled with murky, filthy water and human waste, there were no lights, and food reserves were extremely low. In addition, legend states that prisoners were only allowed to drink water that had been collected as runoff from the tin roof. In the castle, there was also an unlit pit in the ground that prisoners were thrown into as punishment. Centuries later, during the English Civil War, Lidford Castle was used by the Royalists as their main military prison in the region. The prison had a terrible reputation amongst the parliamentarians who complained that it was used to execute military prisoners and extort money from innocent civilians on fear of imprisonment. After the English Civil War, the prison was in an intense state of disrepair, with collapsing floors and beams, and sat as an ominous omen of doom over the surrounding community of Lidford. By the late 1800s, the castle had been abandoned for a while and sat broken and dilapidating, decommissioned from governmental use and hopefully forgotten. In the 1930s, it was gifted to the Governmental Office of Works, and after intense repairs, it opened to the public as a tourist attraction and historic site. Reports of the ruins of the castle being haunted have circulated for centuries, from people experiencing massive waves of cold and goosebumps to others hearing phantom moans and cries from deep within the abandoned castle's dungeon. It's no surprise that Lidford Castle is rumored to be haunted when you consider the extremely negative history that the structure has seen. In terms of physical manifestations, people have seen a multitude of different apparitions within the castle's ruins, including a large pitch-black floating shape the size of a bear in the castle's dungeon, and a strange humanoid shadow with glowing red eyes that has been seen drifting throughout the ruins and heard screaming. Is Lidford Castle haunted? That's what we set out that night to find out.
So, after you heard all that, it's hard to look at these walls the same way, just knowing the types of things that happened here and the amount of people that were tortured here, left to rot, even obviously died. As I probably said in the video, lots of the people were hung before they even had a trial. So, a lot of souls passed through these halls, and assumingly, Andrew, you said this is the old gaol, is that how you say it?
It's
The pit?
G-A-O, or G-A-O-L here actually is pronounced jail. Funny enough.
Oh,
Yeah, that's just
that's jail.
That's the old-timey way of spelling jail.
Wow.
It's G-A-O-L. Yeah, this is the old prison, but a lot of people, in fact, if you were sentenced to be put in this prison, you weren't getting out. In fact, right now we are standing in the pit. Where from the top, and if you want to give them 2 seconds of a shot, I'll light it up for you. Show them just how far up that is, that window right there. All right? If you were sentenced to be put in this jail, you were forced actually to drink a quart of boiling oil before they would push you down here. Just push you in. Free fall drop 2 stories to the ground. Snap your legs, snap whatever bones, and just left here to starve and die in your own blood.
And like he was saying, and I was saying, a lot of these people were innocent. They didn't have fair trials. They didn't even have a trial in general. They were just preemptively hung for their crimes. And that's not to mention the fact that the conditions down here were absolutely deplorable. And I mean, it's been extensively written about. This was even during the English Civil War, a place where prisoners of war were held, tortured, and executed. So it's got multiple, different time periods when it saw this sort of tragedy and intense pain and sadness. But obviously, we're here again with our buddies, Proving Demons. We got Andrew right here. Peyton, you want to show who else we got? Our best buddy, Olivia. Peyton's right behind the camera. I'm going to start rolling on that, too. And I guess we're going to kill these lights and do an investigation of the infamous Lidford Castle.
It's time.
So you guys have actually experienced activity here before, correct? Not you? Is this your first time here, Olivia?
No, this is my second time here, but the first time we were live streaming, that's really bright.
You've had activity here.
I've had a lot of activity here.
What was the most intense thing?
All right, you want to hear a funny story about this place, right? Olivia, could you shine a light onto that stairwell right there? All right, look. Once upon a time, about a year and a half or so ago, we were doing a ghost hunt here with a team I used to be a part of. We had a REM pod on the staircase, and we were asking out, could you please, come forward, come talk to us, all of that. We weren't getting too much, only little bits, but we started doing an EVP. And funny enough, right? Funny enough, on EVP, well, while we were doing it, the REM pod went off, okay? While listening back, we actually heard a spirit say, they can't see us. A moment later, the REM pod went off on the stairs. And then we just get a shit. Like, it just got caught. What?
You just alerted.
Do you remember that?
Damn, that was right when you talked about it, dude.
Do you remember that? Do you remember alerting for me? So the REM pod's going off right now. Funny, as I'm telling the REM pod story, I find that fascinating.
Look how steady that
Is
is.
this steady?
Yeah. That was right when you're telling the story, like literally. Is there anybody here with us right now in the castle? I don't know, I've never heard it.
Okay.
See, this is a totally different thing than what was happening last night.
I'm gonna try and find out what that second tone is.
Oh, looks like we scared it away. Oh, looks like we scared it away. Oh, looks like we scared it away.
Looks like it's got scared away. Yeah.
Okay, well, is that the extent of your story?
Well, it was an interesting story, but for some reason I always seem to get activity near the stairs. Also on top of here, if you want to look at that railing, we have had moments of disembodied footsteps running across that railing before, but there was obviously nobody up there.
Eerie.
Yeah.
Peyton, how are you feeling about this place?
I'm honestly not feeling too much energy yet, but we also just got here. And also might have something to do with the fact.
Different tone, too.
How about you change Peyton's mind?
Did you hear her? She said that there isn't very much energy. What do you guys think about that? Here we go. Let's just kill this for a second. So it's not just beeping the whole time. Okay, everybody. Peyton, I'm going to give you this little EMF meter. And you guys ready to go lights out?
Yeah, you can go right now.
Okay.
Do you have night vision then?
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Everyone, say your final words before these lights out.
Amen.
Peyton?
Oh, those were your words.
Okay, sorry.
Let's go.
Okay. Olivia?
It's going to be lit.
I got a last. Sonic the Hedgehog 2019 is a disgrace to Sonic.
That's true.
Just saying.
It is.
Also,
Do you believe in staying spooky yet?
Yeah, that's true.
oh wait, no, I should say Spanky Sue. Okay.
Spanky suit.
Our couple name is Spanky Sue.
Yeah, Andrew
Because
and
I'm
I.
Spanky and this is Curly Sue.
Yeah, Spanky Sue, baby.
All right.
2K19 forever.
Spanky Sue.
You guys need a couple name now. We're gonna find one in the car ride.
Everyone should leave a comment for our couple name.
Please, please, I really want to know. Give a hug. Give a hug. Let's see a nice, loving couple hug. Aw, dude.
Quote that photo.
Someone's gonna make art from that.
Take a snapshot and meme it, please, with their couple names.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit the lights right now. There you go. Turning on IR. There I am.
Everybody, we're in the proper darkness now.
We're all here trying to talk to you. So if you are here, could you give us a sign?
If there's anybody here in Lidford Castle that suffered under Judge Jeffries or any of the other tyrants that ruled this area and imposed the Lidford Law? Can you communicate with us by tapping on something, making some sort of a noise, manipulating the energy, even touching one of the lights that we're holding, even using your voice?
If anyone here actually remembers me and the few times I've come here to try and communicate, could you try and give me a sign? Could you try to tap on something, throw a rock, affect a device? It's not us.
Wait.
Oh.
Say hello.
Hello? Did that really just happen?
Hello?
You know where that came from? Right there. You know,
Yo, man.
we can get up there.
Wait, hold on. Hello? Is there anybody near us?
It sounded like a really loud clock.
It
The
sounded
way
like
that it was
Something
like.
banging on the
it sounded
railing
like
or
a
something.
wooden stick on the railing or someone with a cane walking. It was so uneven.
I heard a clock because it was like.
I could hear that too.
Judge, you know, I'll tell you now, up there, it is said that right up there is haunted by Judge Jeffries, where he'll stand up there, where he'd look down on those in the pit. Could you try to tap on something, throw a rock, affect a device? It's not us.
Wait.
Oh.
Say hello.
Hello?
What?
What are you hearing?
I heard a breathing noise really loudly. Listen.
You have to admit that was weird.
That was very weird, man. I did not expect that, instantly. It is very dark in here when you're not filming.
Judge Jeffries, I called out to you before.
Man, this place plays with shadows in your mind. I keep thinking I'm seeing someone walking, past that window. It's very creepy.
Judge Jeffries, why don't you come down here to your own prison and meet an offender face to face?
Are you kidding me? Did you hear that? You didn't just hear that up there.
Shh. Let's listen.
Are you kidding me? Did you hear that? Are you kidding me? Did you hear that?
Why are you up there? Are you afraid of us?
Oh, I feel evil right behind me, man. I don't want to stand right there anymore.
Okay, so let's just get right in front of me then, huh? So now there's no one behind you, right?
No, I just don't like this. Oh,
Whoa, snap.
Sorry.
Right.
man, it's pitch black in here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we just had some this is no lie. Whatever the fuck. Okay, so everyone, let's just pan around real quick. Okay, so we just had something pretty crazy just happen 2 minutes ago, so we're gonna make this quick so we can keep investigating, but
Peyton, get Andrew first. What did you just hear now?
100%. Well, when? The first thing we heard, you mean?
Yeah, the loud.
The first thing we heard, when I asked if they remembered me, sounded like somebody with a wooden stick pounding it up there.
Mm-hmm.
Where Judge
Multi-directional
Jeffries
too.
said. Yeah, that's where it came from, and that is basically where they said Judge Jeffries, the ghost of him, likes to hang out.
It got really creepy in here all of a sudden too. I got like really cold.
It did, and on top of that, I don't know what the last thing I heard. It sounded like just movement up in this general area.
So I heard basically like a man with a walking stick. I felt like walking or like someone with a stick banging on something, but it moved. This is what's trippy. And it was loud too. It almost, I couldn't tell really what it was, but Olivia, what did you hear?
I thought it sounded more like a clock, because it was, I don't know, it sounded like it was repeating.
Rhythmic.
It was pretty
Kind of rhythmic, like in
Yeah.
a rhythm.
Okay, so let's turn off the lights real quick and we're gonna do a little bit into our little bit in the dungeon pit room.
And we can, like I said, we can go up there. There's a staircase that goes up to that if you want to go up
Yeah,
there.
I want to.
I will once I see where I'm going.
Did you die right here in this pit? Or were you tortured and jailed, subject to...
Torture and being jailed. Sorry. What are you hearing?
I heard a voice, did you hear that?
I hear something. It's really quiet. Just lift my head up so I can hear better. Are you still laying here with broken legs even after your death? Are you in pain still? Could you let us know?
Do you smell a weird smell? I just got a kind of weird whiff of something.
I can't right now, no.
And I'm getting way colder all of a sudden. It's probably just a draft, but it's like I can feel it on my arms. Like all my hair just stood up. Come on, give us something.
This one's still sorry. What was that?
What's that light?
What light?
Did someone just turn a light on in there?
No.
Okay, turn the light on the wall.
Did you just see a
Yeah, I
light?
just saw a light.
I saw a light earlier. Where'd
It
you
was-
see it?
Is there anyone there? Man, it looked like a flashlight almost.
I totally.
It was like bright.
Like I said, I saw a light.
I mean, that couldn't have even been anything. Like, look at the back of Andrew. It was not his flashlight, and there's
Wasn't
nothing
on
that
anyways.
yeah, there's nothing that could have been shining from behind him. He's the only one that was standing by the wall.
Can you speak a bit louder? I think we heard you. You should probably enhance the audio if you can later. That was behind you. 100% that was behind you.
Okay, keep the light off. Are you there? I'm gonna walk towards it. Are you over here on this end of the prison? The jail? Oh man, this is creepy down here, dude. Oh, it's colder down here. Someone come down here with me. It's kind of creepy.
Who? What? It's
Anybody.
You're so out of focus. Okay, there we go.
Can you make a noise to let us know where you are in the castle?
I don't know if I want to count that as something paranormal. That wah noise. Did you not hear it?
No.
Did any of you hear it? Just now? It just went wah.
No, I didn't hear anything.
Give us a knock or a rap.
Sorry.
Well, you guys want to head up to the 3rd floor?
I oft have heard of Lidford law, how in the morn they hang and draw, and sit in judgment after. At first I wondered at it much, but since I find the matter such, as it deserves no laughter.
Why don't we do an experiment and you guys go stand on the rail and we'll stand right here? You like that little hallway?
Yeah.
Just see what we hear.
I'm not an IR. So maybe.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we're gonna go lights out. So we're now up in the area where supposedly Judge Jeffrey's haunts. I don't know what part of the castle this specifically was, but obviously this whole thing was a jail and torture prison chamber. Lots of executions planned and carried out here. So we're gonna kill the lights now and see if we can make any last contact with whoever may be in this insanely haunted prison still. Is there anybody here with us? Can you use your voice to let us know that you're here? Is that you moving?
Yeah. I'm shifting.
How about you guys down there? You want to ask a question?
Can you make a noise for us if you're trying to leave this place? Why is every dog in town howling all of a sudden?
I don't know, but that's happened before on our investigations.
I couldn't imagine what it'd be like having to stay in here for damn near 1,000 years. Are you trying to get out of here? It's gone dead quiet so far.
It's pretty quiet. God, there's so many spiders. Oh.
I told you that's why I didn't want to stand over there.
Is there anybody in this castle with us? I don't feel comfortable back here. I don't like that.
Spiders.
We'll just come join you guys and wrap up down there. So we've already been inside of the castle. We had some interesting activity at first, but after being here for about 45 minutes to an hour, it just cut off, dropped off, almost like some of the prisoners here at the jail did, the castle. But right now, Olivia is actually guiding me back to an area where, want to give the details to everybody?
Just burial pit.
Yeah, a lot of the people who died here in the castle, it's where they're buried in a mass grave. Assumingly, many of their names were lost to time and history. So where would the pit be?
Right now. Where this mound is.
Holy shit, that's pretty big.
Yes.
This is a big old pit.
Bigger hill than I thought it was. To be fair, I've never actually been in that graveyard. I don't know. And some churches, like old churches, they'll leave open all night. So.
Here you go, baby. That is such a dope church.
Creepy, scary graveyard.
Spooky, scary graveyard. I mean, this is a pretty... Oh, look at that spider on the pamphlet for the castle.
What's the matter? That's great. All right, enter the haunted, spooky, scary, creepy graveyard.
Well, this has definitely got a...
It's a wheelwright stone. So that's for that's an ancient stone for grinding like grains and stuff.
Wow. This is such a cool cemetery. Oh, these graves are so cool.
But tombstones?
This is such a typical creepy Gothic cemetery and church.
They're so
1749. Yeah. 1724.
Damn. What's this one?
I guess.
This is a table grave? Practically unreadable. It's always creepy to me when they have the taller tombstones all stacked and they're kind of like human height almost. So you can imagine like someone standing behind them or like a zombie or something.
Well, thankfully today I've never had a zombie.
That's right. We have had a zombie. When we were in Barnsley.
Oh my God, you're right. We have actually met a zombie once. Oh my God. We were out urban exploring one night looking for locations, and some guy on the street started growling at us, and he was like coming up to the car, and it was one of those situations like last night at the murder house where I was out getting the car run, and he started growling and he started running after the car. Oh, it was weird. So yeah, we have met a zombie.
Weird limp, so he like ran.
Yeah, he didn't like run like a human. He was just like, and he started chasing after the car.
Damn, man.
Some of them can be quite intense.
Hello!